Thank you. Hello, I'm Diane Barnes, and I'm blank years old. Every woman gets to a point where she stops telling her age. It's not that I'm embarrassed or ashamed to be getting older. It's that it seems like for a woman to pass 40 is taboo, like some sort of STD that everyone's afraid of catching. The last time I told my real age was one of those indelible moments, like my first kiss, or the first time I had sex, or the last time I used the excuse of having my period to get out of having sex 7 years after menopause. But other than that, I'm an open book. I'll talk to you about anything, but I'll talk to you about my traumatic childhood. I'll talk to you about my traumatic car accident, any one of my traumatic relationships. I'll even talk to you about my traumatic birthing experience. And I adopted. Look at Barbara. Look at Barbara Walters. She's probably 25 years older than I am, though I don't know exactly, because I don't know how old she is, and I'm sure not telling you how old I am. But she doesn't have a single gray hair, and she has fewer wrinkles than I do. For all I know, she could be dead, like one of those Stepford celebrity interviewers. But you know the hardest thing about getting older? And no, it's not gravity, though there is that. It's dating. When it comes to men, I find I'm getting pickier. First off, he has to be a guy, and preferably born that way. Really. I mean, nature had a good idea, and it didn't do so badly. I don't mind surgeons. I love surgeons. Some of my best friends are surgeons. But nature got it right. They need a pulse, no walker, and no portable oxygen. They can live with their, in a condo, in a house, in an apartment. With their kids is okay. With roommates, well, it's a red flag, but as long as they're not roommates in a nursing home. They need to be able to feed themselves still. No more than one handkerchief of drool per meal, and no Depends. I guess I don't need to tell you, this crowd, that that's adult diapers. So, the truth is, I really like guys exactly as I did when I was 20 years old, which is tall, dark, and handsome. I especially like them over 6 feet. The problem is, now everyone's shrunk a few inches. I love to travel, so I like a guy who likes to travel, who loves to travel, just not to the bathroom every hour. And I like a guy who's been married before. You know, that's the best chance of domestication. But better if they haven't been married more than 5 or 6 times. You know, girls got to have their standards. And not paying alimony is certainly better, but it's negotiable. That could have been my last date. Get a contact number when you're dating. Next of kin is probably the best. But let's see, where was I? Yes. Having kids makes a guy much more loving and comfortable with himself and resilient. So I like a guy who's been a dad. But of course it's best if the kids are all grown, moved away, successful or rich enough not to be worried about their inheritance, or if they came with someone else and left with her, or they're dead. So I had a first date last week. Tall, light, and handsome, 2 out of 3. It's not bad. And Never been married, no kids, not the best, but hey, I'm game. But he turned out to be a big guy, about 180 pounds bigger than his photograph, which was only about 15 years old. But I'm game, we're at lunch. And I noticed that he's using the skinny girl trick of moving the food around his plate with this fork and not eating. So I say, what's the matter? Don't you like your pasta? And he says, actually, I don't eat during the day. I eat one meal at the end of the day. And I'm thinking, that's one whale of a meal. How's that working for your waistline? And he says, Diane, I think you need a project. That's where I come in. I'll be your next project. And I'm thinking, honey, did I say I was casting for Extreme Makeover? But the next guy had a little more potential. He was a PhD from Stanford, my alma mater. He wrote me haikus and had a wicked sense of humor. So I invited him to the theater. I sprung for the tickets. He didn't mention dinner, but that's okay. So he pulled up in a battered old car with a cracked windshield, white beaters over the torn upholstery, and he was still finishing his Chuck E. Cheese dinner, hamburger. He had to move about a month's worth of fast food wrappers from the seat before I could get in. But he did open the door for me. I got in, and my foot stepped on something kind of squishy. So I moved the debris aside, and what I saw was a dead rat, a freshly dead rat. And I looked at him, and he said, it was a gift, and I didn't feel I could throw it out. So this gives new meaning to pack rat. But okay. And then I hear, and it seems to be coming from far too close for comfort. And then I hear, and I turn, and there's a cat who's looking me in the eye while he's relieving himself in a cat bowl behind the seat. Sort of went downhill from me. So ladies, for any of you who find yourself in my position, I have a couple of red flags. And guys, you might want to take notes here too. First red flag. You ask him how he was doing, how his day went, and he goes on a 15-minute rant about his ex-wife while spitting on you, and then says, but I really get along with all my ex-wives, and I love women. Red flag. You realize that the intermittent beeping you hear is not coming from his cell phone, but from his electronic ankle bracelet. Red flag. He puts a little blue pill beside his salad fork and says, shall I take this now or later? Red flag. Thank you very much.